Got one, boy. Let's hope this is a crappie or a white bass. Get on that streamer. It's a decent fish. I think it's going to be a crappie. Hope it's a crappie. It is a big crappie, big white crappie. Go easy with him here. Really easy, man. Don't want to lose him. Get him out of that tire. Get him out of that tire. Get him up here. Got him. Got him right here, right before dark. That's going to be a keeper right there, man. Woo, all right. Let's get down here and see if we can't catch us a crappie today. Here we are coming up on the tail end of February. Got a few minutes to get down here today and see if we can't catch us a crappie. I don't see anybody in my spot down here. I'm peeking through the trees to see if I can sneak up on somebody. You know, still the front's trying to move through, I guess. Real windy, blustery. About 60 degrees, pretty mild right now. Pretty late afternoon. Got a real late start here today. Didn't think I was going to be able to get out here today, but at the last minute, looked like I was going to have just enough time to make it out here. So here we are. Water looks good. Main reason I wanted to get out here is because we got this full moon coming up here. So getting out here as the sun's getting ready to set here in a couple of hours, and then the moon's going to be rising up over the horizon. Right back over there, the moon's going to be coming up. Water's really down today. So we're going to throw out here a few times. I see some fresh footprints, so we know the old secret honey hole used to be a secret. Few people have kind of known about it, but seems like we always got some tracks out here now. So a lot of competition for these little old fish we call a crappie. And as usual, Mr. Blue Heron right over here, he's over there doing his little fishing thing. What I'm going to start off with is just kind of a bluish clear with some sparkle. It's not a curly tail. It's a little, I don't know, little crappie jig I found here on the bank. Somebody lost it. So I thought, let me give that a try. I don't know if it's a little Bobby Garland. It's kind of a neat looking. I like the color. That translucency I like. I like the sparkle in there. I like that light blue. Pink head, you know, that right there you could change out maybe if you wanted to. Experiment with that and leave the body the same. So we got this old Fluger President and an old Energy Series rod that I actually found. It's not really a crappie rod, but it's about a 7.5 foot rod. So we're going to be fishing about 5.5, 6 feet underneath this little wonky float we got up here. Well, there goes Mr. Great Blue Heron. As usual, he doesn't like to share his fishing spots. You gotta watch him though. He will come up here and try to steal your fish if you're not careful. So let's throw this little blue crappie jig out. Let's see how it looks in the water. Yeah, there ain't much movement to that tail. Really, to me, them little pointed tails, I've never noticed, you know, that they move that much. I mean, they do a little bit. I guess if you try to bounce them around or give them a little jig. I guess that's why they call them a little jig, because if you throw them out there and you give them a little jig, you catch a little fish. Let's see if we can catch one. We'll make a medium long cast out there. Try to hit this little piece of cover right off of the bat. We got that moon coming up over the horizon, and that's going to help us here. If there's any crappie around, they should be fairly active here this afternoon, about right now for the next couple of hours. So let's just ease this little blue jig back along really slow. See if we can't get a crappie right here before dark. See some activity on the water. There are some fish out there moving around, doing some stuff. So we got a chance to catch something here before dark. Oh boy, right there was either a fish or I hit that little piece of cover right there. It didn't really feel like a fish, but it was. Of course, as the days are warming, you know, we're up to 60 degrees. We've had some warmer days here lately. Crappie are probably gonna get a little more active. There's one right there, boy. I missed him though. That was definitely a bite right there. I felt him hit that right over that little piece of cover. So we don't know if that was a crappie or something else, but whatever it was, I missed him. So that's, I think, 2 bites in a row right there. I think there may be something out there. Yeah, look there. Whatever it was hit it. Got that little tail hooked back on the hook. So you got to watch out for that. If you don't pay attention, so you don't want that to happen. We want that little tail to spring back out there. Might have been a little crappie or something of that nature. Hit it pretty hard though. Didn't hook up, so probably was a little crappie. That's all right. I'll take some little crappie here this evening. Got a lot of big old puffy clouds out there today. The moon is one thing that I think can really get them wanting to feed a little bit or get back in here in these coves a little bit for some reason. You know, fish in general react quite a bit to the moon, just like humans do. We don't think about it a lot, but you think about bluegill, brim, and fish like that, you know, they go on the bed during the full moon. So you know the full moon gets them going during the spawning time of the year, which is all summer for them. But the crappie could be the same way. They could have some effect on them to make them want to get back in the areas, particularly this time of year as you pre-spawn. Might want to make them get back in those areas where they're ultimately going to be heading towards when the spawn comes up. Water's warming, so they're ready, you know, they're ready to start looking for their spawning areas and moving back in there and getting used to where they're going to be hanging out during that period of time. And so as the moon gets right, maybe that triggers them to get more active back in here and feed around in these shallows where they're ultimately going to be spawning. I'm going to go over to this little green curly tail. It's got a smaller jig head than that other jig, and it'll give a little bit slower presentation. And I've caught a few fish on this little green one before. It's got a little more movement than that little Bobby Garland style jig. Dang it, son, I just lost my float out there. Something hit that hard, and it let's see what happened. It broke my line right there. I should have retied. I hate that. That's not good, people. That's my nice old big float out there. I see it out there. Something big hit it, and I set the hook, and it was just broke that line right there where it's hooked onto the float. I should have checked that and retied it. All right, back on this little green jig. I've had something break my line twice. I don't think it was a crappie. First I thought, well, maybe just a bad spot in the line on that other rod. So I came back over here to this Energy Series rod. Got a big old hit, set the hook, felt it, and then bam, broke the line on this one. It's like, what the heck? But it broke it up way up the leader. You know, I got this 4-pound test, and it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just some bad line, some older line. It's older line. All right, we got something there. Let's see what's messing with me out there. Kind of like I thought, some little crappie. Hey, that's good though. That's a good sign. Well, little crappie. This will be well, year after next, probably these little ones will be big enough to keep. You very rarely catch one that small. So there's a little crappie out there. Why does it give me that battery notice? Uh-oh, there he goes. Got another one right here. Pretty close in. Another one of these little ones. That's a good sign. That's 2 little crappie right there. So we know there's some little ones out there. That's always good, even if you're just catching little ones. This one hit this little green jig with a black head. It's a little curly tail type jig. It's old school, 1/32 ounce head. It's got some kind of sparkle right there. Not very big. Good healthy little crappie. We'll get him turned loose here. See you there in a couple of years, my little buddy. Well, we got 2 today, so there's some activity out there. You always fish around this full moon rise, near full moon rise, and you get on the crappie and they usually be pretty active. All right, we finally got something here. I hope it's a crappie. Went over to a little white curly tail grub, and is just tugging hard. We don't know if we got a crappie or what here. Got a little tuggy for a crappie, but we're gonna see. Maybe a white bass. Ah, it's a big crappie, a big old white hog crappie. Don't let him get turned around there. Sometimes they'll get turned around backwards, and that jig will come out of their mouth, but that jig ain't coming out of that one's mouth. No, sir. Ain't coming out of that one's mouth. Look at that, folks. That's what it took. Going back over to our little white curly tail grub. Got a little gray head on there. I cut that little curly tail way down, and that did the job. Look here, right before dark. Got the full moon coming up. Telling you folks, if you ain't watching that moon, you're missing some crappie. And see what else we can get right here real quick. Like, we got just enough light to get us a little stringer full. Let's measure him up real quick like for you, just so you see here how big he is. Look here, he's pushing 12 inches, 11 and a half. That's a good solid 11 and a half. All right, folks, let's get him on the stringer. Nice big old healthy crappie right there, my friends. Look at the size of that. Nice thick. That's a thick fillet right there. All right, my little buddy, here we go. All right, got a little bit of rain moving in all of a sudden. I don't think we're gonna have a downpour, but the wind's kind of calmed down for the moment. Picking back up here a little bit. Going to ease this little white curly tail back and see if we can't get another big crappie on the stringer. It's getting a little chilly out here all of a sudden. That wind is suddenly picking up. Wow, we got a little squall moving through, and look at that lighting right there. Tell you what, a little clearing of the storm right here. It's beauteous out through there. Very beauteous. I love this weather. We got a little rainbow. I figured we'd get a little rainbow going back over there. He is, a little rainbow. Good weather to catch a crappie. Always good weather to catch a crappie in a rainbow. We got a nice rainbow now. Look at that, boy. Man, that's beautiful. Oh, makes it worth it right here, my friends. Look at that. Look at that beautiful rainbow. Beautiful. Makes it worth it. I got one big slab crappie on the stringer, looking for one more big slab rainbow. Slab crappie at the end of the rainbow there. We'll get him right here. Just gonna ease this back across this little piece of cover. Look how beautiful that is. Man, that's an intense rainbow right there. That is an intense one right there. Look at that, boy, against that dark sky. Man, look at that. Pretty amazing right there. Be nice to catch a crappie. Oh, we got this rainbow going on right here. Just gonna ease this little white curly tail grub back. See if that combination of that rainbow, big almost full moon. I think tomorrow's a full moon. That moon should be coming up over the horizon pretty soon here. That'll get them crappies stirred up. We'll get another big one here. We just need one more for the stringer to give us 4 good fillets. A couple of more good keepers would be perfect. That'd give us 6 fillets, which would be just about right. Just keep easing it back real slow. We got about another 30-40 minutes of light left, looks like, now that these clouds have moved out, opened up that sun a little bit. Well, rainbows, geese, crappie, late February. Nice day today. Got a full moon almost. Got one, boy. Let's hope this is a crappie or a white bass. Get on that stringer. It's a decent fish. I think it's going to be a crappie. Hope it's a crappie. It is a big crappie, big white crappie. Go easy with him here. Really easy, man. Don't want to lose him. Get him out of that tire. Get him out of that tire. Get him up here. Got him. Got him right here, right before dark. That's going to be a keeper right there, man. We needed that. All right, well, the GoPro battery died right there. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes. In the cold weather, the GoPro battery doesn't really hold up that well. So anywho, sad song, that's how it goes. So anyway, stay tuned. We're going to bring you just a little bit of bonus footage of a couple of videos back, a couple of days back, maybe a week or two back. A little something here and there. We'll find something to throw in at the end of the video interesting, so hang out for that. And in the meantime, we're going to continue writing a sad song about this dead battery situation here. We got some really low water conditions out here right now. Really low. Boy, they dropped that water in a hurry. We had a lot of rain here in Tennessee, and so we got a lot of muddy water right now. We got a heavy stain on the water at the moment. So we're going to see how this is going to affect the crappie. They may be in here and they may not be in here. Crappie really hadn't been in here that good the last week or two I've been fishing. I hadn't been able to really get on them, but right there's one right there close in. So they're in there. That was a good little crappie close in. I don't think he's a very big one, but it is a crappie, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a good sign. We got him out there, but that's not a big one. He's not going to be big enough to keep, but that's a good sign, really close in. This muddy water. We got one on the very first cast. So let's keep our fingers crossed that there may be some big ones out there. Again, they've dropped the water, so we got falling water conditions, which I'm sort of getting to where I like these falling water conditions for the crappie back in here. Let that little booger go right there. All right, here we are. Back out here on spot number 2. Whew. Spot number 1 is all muddy. Got some really low water conditions. They've dropped the bottom out of the lake. We're down to about 807 feet. About as low, you'll never see it lower than this, very rarely. I think this is the lowest I've seen it this year. You can tell by looking at the bank right here. Compared to our other videos, this part you very rarely get to see. Right here, it's always covered up with water. So what we're going to do is we're going to fling this little white curly tail out here. We're going to see if we can't catch a fish. There might be a crappie out there. There might not be a crappie out there. We don't know. But we're going to try. We got about an hour and a half of light there. Start off with this little white curly tail. That's what I've got on there. Just a little white curly tail grub made by Yum. Let's see if we can catch a crappie here. We got one. Something hit it hard right here. I don't know what we got, but it hit it hard. It smacked it. Oh, it came off right there, darn it. Dang it. I've had just at least a little bit of slack in that thing. Trying to adjust that camera, and boy, he came loose. Whatever it was pretty big and hit it hard. I don't think it was a crappie. We got it. Get this drag to tighten up on it a little bit here. We got a loose drag on it. Can't tell what we got because of that loose drag. Darn it. Might be a decent little crappie right there. Whatever it is bigger than I thought. That drag had loosened up on me. Had a big drum. Decent drum. decent little old drum out there. He's about big enough to eat right there. I think I'm gonna keep him. I've been wanting to try a drum. You know, I know the big ones are probably not very big to eat, but I think I may keep this little smaller one just to see. I kind of want to see what these things taste like. I've heard of people eating them before. And this one's small enough to where I don't think he's going to be too contaminated. So let's see if we can get us another one here. Well, let's try a couple of casts right down here. We usually don't throw out down here. This is Catfish Dave's fishing spot. We're going to try to get a historical marker put here commemorating this spot as an official Catfish Dave fishing location. I don't know if the state of Tennessee will go for that, but I should be. You know, it's pretty historical that Catfish Dave fished here. So I'd say we put a little historical marker here representing the times that Catfish Dave fished here. It's pretty much something worth commemorating. I'm going to throw out here and see if there might be a crappie out here. I kindly doubt it. Just for the heck of it, a few minutes before dark. Already took my rubber boots off. So we're just going to stand here on Catfish Dave's little spot and see if there's anything out here like a crappie. Got a little chartreuse grub on there. Curly tail grub.